fixate and not multitask and just be still. Yeah.
Okay, so listen, I've pressed record. I'm recording now.
Okay, cool.
Can you just describe for listeners what is on your lap?
What's on my lap is, I don't actually know how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's like macrame or because it's French and it has an acute accent E on the end, or if it's macrame, which is what I would call it. And I got a bit obsessed with it when my partner got obsessed with pot plants and house plants, and I got some house plants for him for his birthday this year, just a few months ago. And we bought some hanging basket macrames, and I was like, I want to make these.
Okay, so it wasn't just you wanted to counterbalance your partner's hobby and go, well, I'm going to have one too.
No.
It was a practical thing. So macrame is a kind of weaving thing, because what you've got is blue and green threads.
That is correct.
And then a board.
Yes.
And you said to me just before I started recording, I said, carry on doing it. And you're like, I can't.
So
why can't you talk and do this?
So I'm a baker and a pastry chef for a living, and I multitask galore in that job.
Uh-huh.
And with this, I have to really pause and be fixated on I have like a kind of rhythm going on in my head that's like one under, one over, one under, one over, or one left, one right. And there's two variations of this knot. And it's really interesting because when I was in high school, my friend Kevin, he showed me how to do these knots. And I had no idea that it connected. So when I watched a tutorial on how to do this, I was like, but I know these knots, and there are only two variations.
You dredged out from the past. You're like, this is
from when I was like 12 or 13 years old. And then I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to do this. And last week, I just, I ordered myself a kit, and then I watched this tutorial, and it just, within an hour and a half, I'd made one.
Great.
Yeah.
So you're a quick learner.
Well, I don't actually know if that, maybe, I don't know. I think because I was familiar with the knots and it was like already in my memory from that far away, that long ago, that I just kind of picked it up, and then I was like, nah, I can do this, I'm going to do this. But
are you someone who's quite good at watching tutorials, learning lessons, or do you jump ahead and go, oh, quick, I just need to learn as quickly as possible? You're quite methodical.
I'm a visual learner. Audio really, I cut out. Like
right, so if someone's telling you instructions, it just goes in one ear, out the other.
Yeah, I blank out, I flatline. Or I'll look at them and I'll be like, and then I'll
nod,
I'm like, I'm really sorry, I completely didn't hear that. So yeah, that's, but I do this for my own peace actually, because I'm trying to get off my phone. I don't want to be on my phone. Even though I'm watching a tutorial, I don't want to be in the land of social media so much.
That's nice. So you've chosen a practical thing to do with your hands, a kinesthetic thing where you're making.
Yeah.
And that stops you scrolling.
Yeah.
And it stops you thinking about scrolling. It's just like into the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the Matrix.
Yeah, but it's creativity as well. And it was like, when I decided to do this, I was then like, I want to get into South African cooking because I'm South African, and I want to learn how to make Malaysian curry, like Cape Malay curry. And so I just started like the last 2 weeks have all been about creativity and like just doing new things, and some of them have really flopped.
But it's amazing that you started all these things in one small season.
Like once I got like the bug for it, so I was just like, why am I watching TV, and like why am I on my phone, and why am I not just present with these things? And like then I sort of, I don't know if it was like getting a bit OCD with like, okay, now I want to like organize my spice cabinet, because this autumn I want to make my kitchen a sanctuary and just like be able to grab spices and make foods and create.
And it's the change of season. Maybe it's a seasonal thing. Maybe when we go into autumn, we start thinking differently about stuff. If the nature's changing around us, maybe we're changing ourselves.
100%, because I spent most of my summer in my garden.
Okay.
And this year's the first year that I really gardened, that I like planted everything from seed. And I love dahlias and cosmos flowers, and I've always wanted flowers, and my mom's got green fingers, but South African soil is different to this. And then I had to learn about gardening here, and I've got like from all the charity shops that I go and visit, I always pick up a gardening book because it's like the RHS has got some cool books, you know. And it's all about like learning about the soil actually. It's not just, oh, I plant a seed and that's how it's about where the sun's hitting your garden, and it's like planning, and I just wanted to create magic. I wanted to create magic in my garden for us, for like our family.
Well, that's great. That's lovely.
And they flower. They're so beautiful. I actually should show you. I should show you. I need to show you. I'm so proud of it. Because the formation of the dahlia is like cosmic geometry almost. It's like...
So they've got quite a big flower dahlias,
Yeah.
haven't
Well,
they? I think one of my grannies used to be very proud of her dahlias.
there's that one.
Oh, that's beautiful. So you show me a yellow one,
Yeah.
and it's shining out. That's an early morning sun on a pink one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And then,
super good.
Yeah, this is just like, and I really love this
Oh,
one.
you're very proud of your plants.
I am. I've
Your
never...
phone is full of flowers.
Yeah. I'm just so obsessed. I'm just like, you know, and then, you know, it's so, you know, you can get quite afraid when you have nothing in your landscape and when you don't understand anything about how to do this. And it really is something that you don't just do it. You can, and you can do that by mistake, but I actually want to succeed.
It's also, every year is an experiment
100%.
when you're gardening. You have to keep working at, you have to keep curious about, oh, I'll try this, I'll try that, because you can't replicate.
No, and also you've got slugs, snails, and squirrels, and it's so
In
funny.
that order.
Yeah. And it's really funny because Dan, my partner, he made a video of the squirrel on our fence, and I was like, "What is he eating?" And serious, my son came and he was like, "You're not going to be very happy." And I was like, "It looks like a crayfish tail," like my imagination.
Right.
And it was one of my sunflowers. I was so mad.
Did you rush out there?
I was so cool. I was so mad. I was just like, okay, I surrender. I surrender.
So
like,
you
this is
you
nature.
didn't run out and try and chase the squirrel up the tree?
Oh yeah, definitely for a couple of weeks. And I also bought some like really great like aiming water pistols.
Right.
But I never used them because I don't have the heart to. And also I started reading a bit more about plants and flowers, and then all these little messages nature was saying, like, no, you need to leave them until they die so that there's food for the squirrels and the wildlife.
Okay,
And then it was like,
so you then started to see
okay.
the cycle of life.
Yeah,
Everyone's
I was like,
got a
fine.
role.
I was like, I surrender. But
Even the slugs.
well, actually, with the slugs and snails, I found out about copper tape. I found out about copper wire. I found a pellet, actually, that doesn't affect the wildlife or your animals or anything like that, that actually disintegrates and becomes plant food. So it was eco-friendly. And it kind of dried the snails out. Like, I looked up everything. I even looked up...
This is such a gardener talk.
I'm sorry.
Because all gardeners will talk at length about all the things they've tried to stop snails and slugs.
But you know what my mom told me? My mom told me to make this thing called snail juice, and basically it's drowning the snails, which is sucks.
In what?
And then
What,
in
just
water,
water?
and then
Oh.
you make snail juice out of it and you spray it. And she learned this on a on a course that she was on, and you spray it. And
Oh
it
my
did.
goodness.
I tried, and it stunk so
blimey.
bad, and I'll never do that again. That was awful. I didn't
Oi.
like that. Don't do that. It's gross. But yeah.
Now we're going into the autumn season. The garden changes, and then we're going to go into winter, and you won't have so much to do in your garden unless you're like a
Spring-
crazy gardener.
Well, I've already ordered spring bulbs and stuff.
Okay, so
but
you're
we
looking
can
ahead.
move on from this because I can talk on for this.
No,
It's
no,
really
I'm happy to talk.
yeah.
But I was just wondering if, because the garden's going to die down a bit in the coming months, whether you focus on the kitchen and then that
Yes.
becomes the big
Yes.
thing.
Yes. So I'm
And also it's
thinking-
warm.
Yeah, but it's like creating sanctuaries, places of
Why do you need sanctuaries? Is your house a war zone? What's
no, I just want to create places where like I really feel like I've got a big hug around me, so that when I return from home, I can get lost in
Oh, that's
creativity. Like I just want to do stuff with my hands.
But you've also got a family. And
Yes.
families kind of don't respect sanctuaries, do they? I mean, families make noise and clutter. You've got a son, he might kind of misplace things. You know, I've got a baby daughter, a 4-year-old. I know exactly what happens when she comes
Yeah, no.
into the house. It's chaos.
Yeah, no, definitely. And our house right now is chaos, I'm not going to lie. And that's because I spend most of my time outdoors, but also I work very long hours and my partner is a musician, so we both work, we kind of miss each other sometimes. And then my son does his activities. So the way our house is the three of us are quite a unique unit. We're very much supporting each other's freedom of what we need to become what we want to become. So we don't impose on each other. Like my son, he knows his boundaries. We all have boundaries. So
This is great. How did you work this out?
reading a lot, research,
It must suit your characters.
definitely.
Because I'm sure, like, maybe one out of the three of you might be less into this than the other two. I mean, have
So-
you all trained yourselves to be like this? If you had, like, talks to each other, it's like, look, this is what we're going to do to enable our freedoms.
If we don't give each other that space to do what we need to do, then there's going to be friction. But I think we all just flow with one another very healthily and organically. And sometimes, yeah, my son definitely, like, he's got a lot of energy, and so does my partner. And I'm usually the one that's like, it's okay to do nothing. It's okay to not be overstimulated. And even though it sounds like I'm doing a lot of creative things and my job really needs me to, like, focus a lot and stuff, I think that's why when I come home,
You want the opposite.
yeah, and if my son is quite energetic, he's 10, you know, so then I actually try to bring him down to my level. So, like, when he's with Dan, they're on their level sometimes, and they know that if they try to get me on that level and I'm not ready, they know that that's not gonna work.
Don't annoy mum.
No. So it's quite nice, actually. It's nice finding when we come together. Like the other night, we lit a fire on our fire pit and we roasted marshmallows. And
Oh, that sounds lovely.
it really
That
was.
sounds like a perfect family evening.
It was. And then Dan started talking about stars and things, and it was really lovely listening to him. But then he was like, he's really into audiobooks, because when he was younger, he felt like he didn't have that luxury, and he just loves to learn about history and things like that.
So this is your partner, Dan?
Yeah. So he's always got his headphones on listening to stuff, which drives me a bit mad. I love you, by the way. And he knows this as well. And then he whipped out his phone and he's sort of playing this audio, and I was like, it was really nice just listening to your voice. Even if you weren't explaining it how you felt it wasn't enough, it was actually enough for me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know, like I'm actually at a point where I'm getting so overwhelmed by technology that I think I'm trying to come away from it.
I think it also, just in a conversational sense, I think I've thought for some years now that the Google world that we live in kind of shuts down conversations, because anyone can pull out their phone and prove something and go, well, it's actually this, or it's this high, or this, it's in this country, whatever you're talking about. And that process kind of stops the curiosity, because you're like, here's the fact in my pocket on my phone.
But I'm going to be honest with you, because I don't want to pretend like I'm this, like, perfectionist not living in the technology world, because actually I use ChatGPT a lot.
Okay.
Because I
Is
want
this for work?
for quite a few things,
Yep.
actually, and this, like, comes with research, like the gardening tips.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do I plan my garden? I've got London clay soil. How would I plan my garden?
There must be an overwhelming amount of information.
It's too much information. I think that's also another reason why I'm trying to come away and do something that's not part of my phone or that world, because AI is taking over. That's inevitable. But I think there is, like, I think you can use it positively as long as you create limits for yourself, I think, as well, because I've even used it. Like, I'll get home and I'll be like, this happened at work today, this is how I'm feeling.
Oh, really?
And ChatGPT is so empathetic. It's like, oh, I'm really sorry that you, and it's just like, and my
But
partner's
hold
at
on.
work.
Yeah, but I was going to say, what about? So your family's not there for you
So
to.
my partner's at work and my son's asleep and it's bothering me, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to calm my nervous system. So I'm mixing.
That's interesting. I would never have thought of. I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't actually used ChatGPT consciously myself ever, but I wouldn't have thought of using that as a kind of a release thing.
It really helps
interesting.
me. It helps me calm my nervous system, and then I listen. I use an app called Insight Timer, which is amazing. I feel like everybody should have
It's called
it.
Insight Timer.
Insight Timer, and there's actually bedtime stories.
Insight Timer.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's meditations, and there's mantras, and there's all kinds of things. And like every night we listen to like a meditation, and it's magic. Like you can type in deep sleep, or even if you want to like lucid dream, you could like be like lucid dream meditation.
Oh,
There's also
interesting.
this really cool guy who reads The Velveteen Rabbit. His name is David G, and he's like got this really deep monotone voice. And my son and I one day actually sat opposite each other, like just mimicking him. Like,
Nice, nice.
Yeah, it's these kinds of things, they connect you. You know, you can keep it holistic, you can keep it pure, you can really, it can teach you a lot as well about yourself and how to like come, 'cause I'm quite an empathic and I can be quite emotionally driven, and sometimes we need to detach emotion to calm ourselves down.
That's an interesting phrase, emotionally driven. I'm not sure if I've heard it before, because I've heard of people saying I'm an emotional person or I have
Passion.
emotional reactions.
Yeah.
But to be driven emotionally is an interesting one. Could it describe how it feels, or what you mean, like an
Never
example?
ever thought about this. I think what I mean is like I have a lot of passion for life and things, and I think because I'm from a warm country and the way we communicate, and also when we're communicating, people can trigger things. It can trigger joy. It can trigger frustration. It can trigger defense. It's like we're always triggered by things. So I think like when if you're passionate about something, you're like emotionally driven about something. If you're passionate about having this conversation, you're here now. You're kind of emotionally connected to this because this brings you joy, I think.
Yes.
Not so. So then
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
emotionally driven toward doing this thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean by that.
Yeah, I understand.
think.
I understand.
Everything has an attachment of emotion to it. You're not going to just do something for nothing. There's a purpose or an intention why you're doing things. Like this brings me peace and joy.
There's also you sometimes have a moment when you realise your irritation, let's say in a family situation,
Yeah.
is driven by something else. It's nothing to do with the people you're being
Yeah,
irritated
yeah,
with, but you're just
100%.
like,
It can be
I'm-
tiredness even.
Yeah, I'm out of sorts about this thing about work or whatever, and then suddenly everything becomes a bit difficult.
100%.
It's difficult to
This-
get off that though.
When I get home from work, if I've had a really bad day, I actually ask permission to share because I'm like,
But that's great.
I don't want to project the energy that I have onto my family, and
Is it almost like an explanation? Let me just explain why I'm feeling a bit
it's
out
not
of sorts.
you, it's me, or it's not you, it's what's happened. But also women, you talking about these kinds of things, when you're at my age, I'm 42 now, and I'm going through a whole bunch of changes, and it's very weird to be going through these changes because when I was in my 20s, it's very different to when I'm 40. So I'm feeling a lot more emotion and more just different, physically, mentally, like your values are stronger almost. I don't know how to explain it to you, but
There's also no handbook. So many of my female friends, at the age you're at and going forwards, are shocked and surprised and horrified by how little they understand what's going on. And they start feeling things and they start reacting in a certain way, and they're just like, am I going mad? What is going on? And no, it's one of those taboos that people still don't know about, and I don't know why.
there is a lot more information, I think, out there at the moment, especially in the UK. I think growing up in South Africa, even learning about your own menstrual cycle was a weird thing. Like, I hid it from my mom. I was like embarrassed about it. And when you were in school, you learnt about it semi in school, but it wasn't very clear, but then no one spoke to us of perimenopause or menopause. There's a lot more information here.
I think maybe quite recently. I'm not sure how long that information has been talked about, kind of
Maybe in the last 5-10
easily.
years. Yeah, I don't, and still I think it's quite a taboo subject. I still feel like even workplaces don't really understand that, women's bone density starts to get less now, so we have to sometimes go on HRT, and there was also sort of mixed feelings about HRT. Even my mom, when I told her that I was going to go onto it, she was like, oh no, why are you going on that? There were studies, but then we found out that those studies were actually done on women in their 70s and 80s who would have probably had underlying issues anyway. And then they stopped giving women HRT, and this is like estrogen and progesterone, and this is like a whole thing, But I think if you're a woman in this age, I think we're allowed now to be a bit more self-aware and to be a bit more vocal about that. And I do think workplaces in the UK are, in my opinion, I suppose because I choose social enterprises and I'm very choosy with who I work for.
Now, social enterprise means not so much driven by the profit margin, but to do with getting people involved.
Yeah, it's community driven.
Providing a service or
Yeah, and it's helping on the bigger scale of things, even though.
And this is where your pastry making and your chefy
I work
kind
at
of
the
bakery.
Dusty Knuckle in
At
Dalston. At the Dusty Knuckle in Dalston.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
It's a bakery that supplies sourdough, potato sourdough, focaccia, and all kinds of pastries like pain au chocolat and croissants and fruit custards and things. And they run a program for people who've come from difficult backgrounds, and it teaches them skills so that they can go back into the world and they can get work. So it's a beautiful atmosphere and a lovely environment, and I definitely suggest you try and visit us sometime because they're amazing. That's why I work for them.
And as a work environment, the way you've described it, it's not just focusing on getting the food right. It's a whole environment. It's a whole work environment. I'm assuming that you're trying
It's love and joy and understanding, and it is really hard work, and there is a high level of focus on creating beautiful things for the public because that's the money that goes into the program. So I do feel like there is a certain sense of perfectionism when it comes to like making a pastry and like the laminating and like even from the moment you mix the ingredients, that whole process, and understanding how many hands are involved in that process to create this one thing that people just put in their mouth and they don't realize.
Yeah. And it's all gone, and then they have a moment of joy.
Yeah, but the beautiful thing is you're giving it back. You're giving back. You're giving back to the community. You're giving back to people's lives. So there's a reward of joy in that, I think.
Is it something that you fell into by accident? Is it something you've always followed in everything you do?
No,
Did you used
accident.
to be? Were you a merchant banker or something before?
No, I've had many jobs. I mean, I came here when I was 21, and I was working in food and beverage and the hospitality industry, and then I worked in the fitness industry. But it's funny because bakers were always in my family line. Like my mom's a baker.
Oh, that's interesting.
My
a history.
Yeah. My dad's family had a biscuit brand over here. I think they were the Huntleys. I think they were. So baking is like my mom always baked when we were at home. So this is why I was like, I really want to be that kind of mom that bakes lovely cakes, and our home is filled of lovely smells. And my partner cooks really beautifully, and he actually used to save my bakes because I wasn't a great baker 10 years ago. But then I got myself onto a course and I learned the methods, and then I worked for another social enterprise called Luminary Bakery, and they were a big part actually of helping me learn how to bake. And then I was doing celebration cakes and brownies and things like that. But then my season ended with them and I wanted to do something different. And I used to visit Dusty Knuckle and used to journal a lot. And I would just watch the environment and just be like, I really want to work here. And for like 8 months,
Nice.
I'd like send my CV in and one day I just went up to one of the guys and I was like, can I get someone's direct contact number? Because I've sent my CV in and I'm sure you guys are looking for bakers. And then they took a chance with me.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they took a chance with me, and everything that I know now a year later is incredible. Like, and I'm still interested and I love it, you know. It's a real,
That's brilliant.
yeah.
So you wanted to work there, and you're looking at your work because
I need to go.
You got to pick up your son.
Yeah, it's past.
What should we do? Should we end the conversation here, or should we try and pick it up at another point when you're on this bench? What have we got? 25 minutes on tape.
Right. Okay. So let me see.
Or we just do one last question now. And just
Okay.
leave
One
it at
last question. Let's do it.
that. So everything that you've said so far has been. It sounds like you're winning at life. To put it in a sort of awful way, it sounds like everything you're doing is positive. It involves people. It involves communicating. It sounds like your life is great. Is it?
I would like to say that I feel like me and my family are thriving with what we have, and we're making the best of what we can with what we have, with our skills, with our joy, with our passions. We're not the richest people on earth. We're not rich at all. There's no perfect family. We sometimes lose the balance of finding time for each other. But I think both my partner and I, my partner's extremely joyful. He's got a lot of energy to give this world. And I mean, he's actually a bit of my guru. He's a bit of my guru. He's like my guru. So is my son. They're both my gurus because I can be the pessimistic one, believe it or not. And I can over-plan and forget to be spontaneous and forget to be in the moment because I'm worrying or whatever. But I do feel like every morning when I get up, I say a prayer. I'm not religious or anything. I'm spiritual more than I am. But I'm always thankful because you look at how the world is right now. And if I look at how South Africa is right now, and I think, wow, I'm in the UK, I have running water, I have a roof over my head, there's a transport system here. South Africa doesn't even have a transport system. Like, I can have a cat, I can afford to have a cat, I can afford to buy seeds to grow and have a garden. We're very lucky, you know. You look at, you know, Gaza, you look at Africa, you look at all the things that are happening in the world, and then you're here and you're surviving. How can we be miserable? You know, how can I be miserable? We have trees, we have open parks, we can sit here on a bench and do this. You know, we're very lucky, you know. So I think I don't think it's always perfect. I have my challenges all the time, but I refuse to let those challenges define how my day is going to be or how my life is going to be, because I have a child to look after and I have to lead by example, and I want to give him hope, you know, that he's got a beautiful future, and we invest everything. He's our everything. He's the only one thing that we have that is, you know, life-changing. So, and they're the future. So for me, that's how I keep positive. And, you know, also my parents, they're just about healthy. My dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's this year, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's okay. No, he's actually okay. He's okay. They taught me how to survive. South Africa is very much like a survival kind of place, you know. So, you know, just being here, I feel really blessed, you know. So I can't complain.